Far from the warmth of the sun, deep within the realm of the outer planets, a small, icy moon circles its giant host in quiet obscurity. At first glance, it appears unremarkable, barely 500 kilometers across, smaller than many of the moons that populate the solar system. This moon is Enceladus, one of Saturn's many satellites, long assumed to be frozen, inert, and geologically dead. For decades, it was little more than a bright speck of reflected sunlight, catalogued and largely ignored. And yet, beneath its smooth, reflective surface, Enceladus hides one of the most extraordinary secrets ever discovered beyond Earth. It is active, it is warm, and it is alive with motion. To crack Enceladus's code is to confront a profound realization that even the smallest worlds, in the coldest corners of the solar system, can harbor dynamic interiors, and perhaps the conditions necessary for life itself. For much of human history, moons were assumed to be simple objects, cold remnants left behind after planet formation. They were thought to be geologically quiet, lacking the heat and mass required to drive internal activity. Earth was special. Volcanism, tectonics, oceans, these were believed to be rare, perhaps unique. Enceladus seemed to confirm that assumption. Early observations showed a bright, icy surface reflecting nearly all incoming sunlight. Temperatures were extreme, plunging far below what most scientists believed could sustain internal motion. There were no obvious signs of volcanism, no towering mountains, no vast canyons visible from afar. It was easy to conclude that Enceladus was frozen solid, a relic locked in time. That illusion would not survive closer inspection. The turning point came with the arrival of the Cassini spacecraft. Launched in 1997 and arriving at Saturn in 2004, Cassini was designed to explore the Saturnian system in unprecedented detail. Its mission would last more than a decade, and in that time, it would transform Enceladus from a footnote into a focal point of planetary science. As Cassini flew past Enceladus, its instruments detected something unexpected. The moon was not uniformly cold. Certain regions, particularly near its south pole, were warmer than predicted. Not slightly warmer, dramatically warmer. Then came the images. Cracks etched across the ice. Long, linear fractures glowing faintly with heat. And finally, the most astonishing discovery of all: plumes. Towering jets of water vapor and ice particles were erupting from Enceladus's south pole, blasting material hundreds of kilometers into space. These geysers were not occasional. They were persistent, and they were powerful. Against all expectations, Enceladus was venting material from its interior directly into space. The eruptions fed Saturn's E-ring, a vast, diffuse halo of icy particles encircling the planet. This was not surface frost sublimating in sunlight. This was geology. Active, ongoing, energetic geology on a moon barely large enough to hold itself together. The cracks from which the plumes emerged became known as the tiger stripes, for massive fractures cutting across the south polar terrain, warmer than their surroundings and pulsing with activity. Something beneath the ice was driving this motion. To understand Enceladus's activity, scientists had to look inward. Gravity measurements revealed subtle variations in the moon's mass distribution. Combined with topographical data, these measurements pointed to an astonishing conclusion. Beneath Enceladus's icy shell lies a global subsurface ocean. This ocean is not trapped beneath kilometers of rigid ice everywhere. Near the South Pole, the ice is thinner, fractured, and flexible, allowing liquid water from below to interact with the surface. The geysers are not superficial eruptions. They are windows. Windows into an ocean hidden tens of kilometers beneath the ice. Where does the energy come from? Enceladus is too small to retain much internal heat from its formation. Radioactive decay alone cannot explain the observed activity. The answer lies in tidal forces. As Enceladus orbits Saturn, it is pulled and stretched by the planet's immense gravity. Its orbit is slightly elliptical, causing the strength of this pull to vary. With every orbit, the Moon flexes. This constant deformation generates heat through friction within the interior, a process known as tidal heating. The ice shell bends. The ocean sloshes. Rocky material at the core grinds and warms. It is a slow, relentless kneading that keeps Enceladus alive. Cassini didn't just observe the plumes, it flew through them. As the spacecraft passed through the geysers, its instruments analyzed the ejected material. What they found was astonishing. Water vapor, ice grains, salts, organic molecules, and most remarkably, molecular hydrogen. This hydrogen is a key indicator of hydrothermal activity, chemical reactions between water and rock occurring on the seafloor of Enceladus's hidden ocean. On Earth, similar reactions fuel ecosystems around hydrothermal vents, completely independent of sunlight. Life thrives there, powered by chemistry rather than photosynthesis. Enceladus appeared to possess the same ingredients. For life as we understand it, three basic requirements are often cited: liquid water, a source of energy, and chemical building blocks. Enceladus has all three. Its subsurface ocean is salty and dynamic. Tidal heating provides continuous energy. Organic molecules and minerals are present, interacting in complex ways. No other known world beyond Earth offers such direct access to these ingredients. Enceladus does not hide its ocean behind impenetrable barriers. It sprays evidence of it into space. In a sense, Enceladus invites exploration. The implications are profound. Enceladus challenges long-held assumptions about where life might exist. It suggests that habitability is not limited to planets within a narrow Goldilocks zone around stars. Life-friendly environments may exist anywhere tidal forces, water, and chemistry align, even in the frozen darkness of the outer solar system. This tiny moon, once dismissed as insignificant, now stands as one of the most promising places to search for life beyond Earth. Part 10: The Future of Exploration. Cassini's mission ended in 2017, deliberately plunged into Saturn's atmosphere to avoid contaminating potentially habitable moons. But the questions it raised remain unanswered. Future missions are being imagined, spacecraft designed to sample the plumes again, to analyze them with even greater precision, perhaps even to search for signs of biology. Enceladus has become a priority, not because it is large, not because it is easy to reach, but because it is active, accessible, and astonishingly Earth-like in the ways that matter most. Enceladus teaches us humility. It reminds us that size does not determine significance, and distance does not preclude complexity. That warmth can exist in darkness, and oceans can thrive beneath ice. Cracking Enceladus's code is not just about understanding a moon. It is about understanding where life might arise, how worlds remain alive, and how much of the universe still waits to surprise us. In the cold glow of Saturn's realm, a small moon fractures its icy shell and speaks, through jets of vapor and grains of ice, of an ocean below. And in listening, humanity inches closer to answering one of its oldest questions: are we alone?